All right, so we have root. Well, how'd you do it? I'm sure you started it right.
Yeah. I split it into 3 and 25. So I did root 75 and then I got 3 and 25 and started factoring.
All right, so an easier way to do it would just be to simplify from the beginning. And if you ever get something like this, like if you actually get these numbers on the test, then you can let your calculator simplify for you. So you can say like, all right, well, I'm going to do 75 over, really? Over 20. And then, bam, 15 over 4.
Uh-huh.
So now we have root 15 over 4, which is the square root of 15 over the square root of 4, which is
2.
the square root of 15 over 2. Mm-hmm. But let's do it a different way. So how did you do it?
So I did, I split it up. So
okay.
3 and 25.
So you did, all right, so you did root 75 on top, and then you did root 20 on the bottom, and then you factored root 75, 5 and what?
25 and 3.
25, okay, cool. 25 and 3. 3 and 25. Go ahead.
5 and 5.
5 and
Take
5.
Out 5 you
cool.
3.
So you end up with a 5 root 3.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. 5 root 3 over. So what did you do with the bottom?
Same thing. Then I got 4 and 5.
Okay, so 20, and then you get 5 and 4?
Yeah.
Okay, and then 2 and 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
2 root 5.
2 root 5. All right, so 2 root 5. Okay. So this, the way I did the first time around, may not come to you as easily. And you also may not get a problem designed to work out where you don't end up with a root, where you know, like it naturally just loses the root on the bottom. You might end up with something like this. So that's why I want to show you how to deal with this. Mm-hmm. And you're not allowed to have a root in the denominator. It's illegal. It's just like you're not allowed to have like an I in the denominator. Mm-hmm. So what you got to do, that's what I just said about the I. Okay. So do you know how to clear the 5?
Yeah, you multiply by negative 2 root 5. Or no?
No. Oh. But I know what you're thinking. That's the harder version of what you just said. So if you have something like, say you have 5 over root 3, and then here you have 3 minus 2 root 5, mm-hmm. Then
plus.
Yeah, you multiply top and bottom by what's called the conjugate, which is the same exact thing, but with the opposite sign in the middle. And if you did that, you would, you know what your bottom would become?
Cancelled.
No. Oh. So your bottom, you could foil it open. Mm-hmm. All right, so let me foil it open. So the first is 9. The outside is negative 6. What is the outside? Definitely not negative 6. There.
Positive 6, 3 root 5.
Positive, no, just positive. Well, you're basically multiplying this with that.
Oh, just 6 root 5.
6 root 5. Then you have your inside. Is that going to be positive or negative?
Negative.
Negative.
They cancel out.
So negative 6 root 5. And then your last, which is what? Not minus. It's minus. What's the last?
Negative 2 root 5 times 3? No.
It's going to be that.
Yeah.
And then times that.
Okay. So it'd be negative 4 times 5, which is
negative
20.
Negative 4 times 5. So you end up with these guys wiping out, right?
Yeah.
Then you get 9 minus 20, which is negative 11.
Yeah.
All right, so that's how you deal with, that's like the worst case scenario. If you end up with like down below a something plus something with a root. Mm-hmm. All right, so these guys are easier. You just have to, let me move it. Multiply it either by exactly what you see here or by just the root. So you can go root 5, mm-hmm. root 5. Or you could bring the 2 for the ride. But it's better just to do just the root.
Okay.
All right, because what is root 5 over root 5? Like, what is just this piece?
1.
1. So you're multiplying 1 by the original fraction, so are you changing the value of this fraction?
Yeah, no.
No, like, if you do, like, if you do, like, 4/5, or here. Yeah, if you do 4/5, you go times 1, what is that going to become?
4/5.
4/5. Are you changing the 4/5?
No.
No. So this whole thing right here is still 1. So you're not changing this. You're just kind of rewriting it.
Okay.
All right. All right. So
we'd get 5 root 15.
5 root 15
And we get 2.
over, well, 2 times invisible 1.
10.
So yeah, well, it's 2 times invisible 1, right? Which is 2.
Yeah.
And then root 5 times root 5, which is
5.
5. So that's 5 root 15 over 10. All right, 5 goes into itself how many times? 5 goes into itself. Once. And then 5 goes into 10?
Twice.
So you know how we reduce or you're kind of taught to reduce fractions like this in elementary school? The way that I do it, I don't know where I picked it up from. I learned somewhere. Just to say, like, all right, instead of having to make this whole mess right here, just have the number that you think that goes into it, like 5, and say, like, all right, 5 goes into itself once, 5 goes into 10 twice.
Okay.
Then you don't have to do, you never have to do that anymore.
Okay.
All right, so what do we have from here?
We're at root 15 over 2.
Root 15 over 2, which is what I believe we got earlier, right? Yeah, right here.